Tim Smith, one of the most recognized faces from the Discovery Channel's hit show Moonshiners, has once again captured public attention. Known for his bold personality, fearless attitude, and deep roots in the Appalachian tradition of moonshining, Tim recently shocked fans when he confirmed a rumor that many had long speculated about. At 62, the legendary moonshiner admitted that he has officially turned from being an illegal producer of moonshine to a fully legal and professional distiller. This confession came during a public interview where Tim openly said, "I've always been listed as an illegal moonshiner. Now I'm going to be a professional, legal moonshiner." His statement quickly made headlines and brought back discussions about the true nature of the Moonshiners show, whether it was real, fake, or somewhere in between. For years, fans had watched Tim risk everything to continue his family's traditional craft. But this new chapter marked a surprising transformation. His honesty not only stunned loyal viewers but also gave new life to a long-running debate about reality television and the fine line between entertainment and authenticity. Moonshiners is one of Discovery Channel's most popular docudrama series, built around the secret world of people who make illegal moonshine across parts of the Appalachian Mountains. The show first aired in 2011 and immediately grabbed attention because of its raw and dangerous appeal. It follows real-life moonshiners from states like Virginia, North Carolina, Tennessee, and Kentucky as they produce liquor in hidden locations, often while trying to avoid law enforcement. The idea of ordinary people defying the law and carrying on an old American tradition made for gripping television. Viewers were fascinated not just by the illegal brewing process, but also by the characters themselves. Rough, hardworking, and deeply proud of their heritage. However, controversy always surrounded the show. Many wondered, was Moonshiners showing real illegal activity, or was everything just for the cameras? While the producers insisted the events were genuine, several government agencies, especially in Virginia, claimed otherwise. Officials argued that if actual crimes were taking place, arrests would have followed. This ongoing argument between authenticity and dramatization became a key part of the show's legacy, keeping audiences both entertained and skeptical. As Moonshiners gained fame, questions about its legality and accuracy grew louder. The Virginia Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control, ABC, made public statements denying that any real moonshining occurred during filming. They clarified that if such activities had been real, the individuals involved would have faced serious charges. ABC also said that they had requested the producers to add a disclaimer stating the show was a dramatization, but the producers reportedly ignored that suggestion. Despite the authorities' concerns, Discovery Channel continued to present the show as a documentary, allowing viewers to believe they were watching authentic, high-stakes operations. Tim Smith, however, stood firm in defense of the show and his personal craft. He explained that law enforcement couldn't simply arrest someone based on a TV program without physical evidence. "You can't arrest me for moonshining I did 5 years ago," Tim argued in one interview. His confident response only fueled public interest, with many seeing him as a rebellious hero who refused to back down. Whether real or not, Moonshiners successfully portrayed a piece of American culture that had survived centuries, the risky but respected art of home-distilled liquor. Tim Smith was never afraid to speak his mind. When critics claimed the show was fake, he became one of its loudest defenders. He said that Moonshiners was not about glorifying crime, but about preserving a cultural legacy that dated back generations. His family, especially his father, had been moonshiners long before TV cameras arrived. "I learned this trade from my daddy," Tim once shared proudly. He described moonshining not as a crime but as a skill, a craft that required patience, knowledge, and respect for tradition. Over time, Tim became not just a cast member but the face of the entire series. People admired his authenticity, humor, and grit. Even those who doubted the show's realism couldn't deny his charisma. He embodied the spirit of a man torn between two worlds, one rooted in history and rebellion, and the other shaped by fame and modern legality. This inner conflict eventually led him to a turning point. Tired of being labeled as illegal, Tim began thinking about how he could keep his heritage alive while staying within the law. That decision would change his life and career forever. Tim's transformation from outlaw to businessman is one of the most inspiring parts of his story. Instead of hiding from the authorities, he decided to work with them. He partnered with Prost Beverage Company to create his own legal brand of moonshine, Climax Moonshine, named after his hometown of Climax, Virginia. What once had to be brewed in secret was now being sold in stores across the country. Tim's journey from the shadows of the forest to legitimate liquor shelves was nothing short of remarkable. He even joked about his new life, saying, "I've traded my overalls for a business suit, but not for long." The brand quickly became popular because it represented both authenticity and rebellion, all within legal boundaries. For the first time, Tim could openly talk about his craft without fear of getting arrested. Fans celebrated his achievement, seeing it as proof that even someone from a humble, rebellious background could find success without betraying their roots. His move also helped educate people about the long history of moonshining and how it evolved from a survival skill to a respected business. Behind the fame and controversy, Tim Smith is a deeply family-oriented and hard-working man. Long before television success, he lived a simple life in Climax, Virginia, where he worked as a maintenance mechanic and served as the fire chief of the local volunteer fire department. Balancing his roles as a public servant and a secret moonshiner wasn't easy, but Tim handled both with pride. His upbringing shaped him into a man who valued loyalty, honesty, and community. Even after achieving fame, he remained humble and approachable. Fans who met him at events often described him as down-to-earth and genuinely kind. Despite being known for breaking the law, Tim's actions were guided more by heritage than greed. To him, moonshining wasn't about crime. It was about carrying on a family tradition and honoring his roots. His ability to move from illegal distilling to legal entrepreneurship while maintaining his identity made him a symbol of resilience and change. Through it all, Tim has stayed true to his values: hard work, family, and faith in doing what he loves. While Tim's career was reaching new heights, he also faced deep personal pain. During a promotional trip for his Climax Moonshine brand, tragedy struck back home. His beloved dog, Camo, a Catahoula leopard, was shot while roaming near the family property. The news devastated Tim and his family. His wife, Shelby, found the injured dog barely alive, and despite rushing her to the vet, Camo didn't survive. The family later discovered that the shooting wasn't accidental, which made the loss even harder to bear. Tim, who had always appeared tough and fearless, broke down emotionally when speaking about the incident. "A dog is like your child," he said sadly, comparing the loss to losing a family member. Many fans sympathized with him, seeing the moment as proof that behind his strong exterior was a man with deep feelings and love for his family. The tragedy reminded everyone that fame can sometimes bring unwanted attention, and that even strong people face heartbreaking struggles. Today, Tim Smith stands as one of the most successful and respected figures to ever come out of the Moonshiners series. His journey, from hiding in the woods to building a legal distillery empire, is a rare example of turning controversy into opportunity. At 62, he continues to promote his brand, attend events, and inspire others who dream of making something from their passion. He often says that being a legal moonshiner hasn't changed who he is. It just allowed him to share his story with the world. Fans admire him not only for his courage, but also for his honesty. His story teaches that change doesn't mean betrayal, it can mean growth. What makes Tim special is that he didn't abandon his roots. He refined them. His Climax Moonshine remains true to traditional recipes, and every bottle tells a story of hard work, history, and heart. Even after all the controversies, Tim's message is clear: follow your dreams, stay true to yourself, and never be afraid to reinvent your life when the time is right. When the rumors first started spreading that Tim Smith was leaving the illegal moonshining life behind, many fans didn't believe it. For years, his rugged personality and outlaw image had been the heart of Moonshiners. People couldn't imagine the show without him sneaking through forests with barrels of homemade liquor. But when Tim himself confirmed the truth, it was both shocking and inspiring. His decision proved that he wasn't afraid of change or criticism. He understood that while moonshining was part of his past, it didn't have to define his future. By becoming a legal distiller, he showed the world that tradition and innovation can coexist. After years of hard work, television fame, and countless public appearances, Tim Smith's life has changed in many ways. Yet in others, it remains exactly the same. Even after gaining international recognition through Moonshiners, Tim never became a typical celebrity. He still lives in the same small town of Climax, Virginia, where everyone knows him not as a star, but as a neighbor and friend. Fans might expect luxury cars and fancy homes, but that's not Tim's style. He prefers his pickup truck, his workshop, and a good day's work. When he's not filming or attending events, he spends time maintaining his distillery, fixing equipment, or helping the local fire department, where he once served as chief. This sense of loyalty to his roots has earned him deep respect from locals and fans alike. People often say that success reveals a person's true nature, and for Tim, success has only highlighted his humility. Despite his fame, he's still the same hard-working countryman who values honesty, friendship, and community above all else. When Tim launched Climax Moonshine, he knew it wasn't going to be an easy road. The liquor industry is competitive and filled with established brands backed by millions of dollars. But Tim had something unique: authenticity. His product wasn't just another drink on the shelf. It carried a story, a tradition, and a name that people trusted. Every bottle came with the legacy of a man who turned an illegal art into a proud profession. Tim's approach to business is personal. He often visits stores and bars himself, shaking hands with customers and explaining the heritage behind the drink. "When people buy Climax, they're not just buying moonshine. They're buying a piece of my life," he once said. His commitment to quality is unwavering. He uses the same simple ingredients his family used for generations: corn, sugar, yeast, and pure water, but now in a modern licensed facility. That balance between old and new is what makes his brand stand out. It's not just about selling alcohol. It's about preserving a piece of American history in every sip. Family has always been at the heart of Tim Smith's story. His wife, Shelby, and their son, JT, have stood by him through thick and thin, from the days of secret stills hidden deep in the woods to the bright lights of television fame. Shelby, in particular, has been his biggest supporter. She has often described how stressful it was to live with a man constantly being filmed while doing something that could get him arrested. Yet she never lost faith in him. "I knew he was doing what he loved," she once said in an interview. Their son, JT, also inherited his father's spirit. While he doesn't play a major role in the show, he's been seen helping Tim with various projects and events. Tim often says that one of his main goals was to make his family proud, and to ensure they never had to worry about him being taken away for breaking the law again. By going legal, he not only changed his career but also gave his family peace of mind. It's a transformation that represents more than success. It's redemption. Over the past decade, moonshining itself has changed dramatically. What was once considered an underground activity has now become a celebrated craft. Small batch distilleries across the U.S. proudly call themselves craft moonshine makers, inspired by pioneers like Tim Smith. In many ways, Tim opened the door for a new generation of distillers. His journey showed that it was possible to honor tradition while staying within the law. He's often invited to events, festivals, and conferences to speak about his experience, not just as a TV personality, but as a business leader. He emphasizes that moonshining isn't about crime. It's about craftsmanship, culture, and community. Today, legal moonshine is part of the booming craft spirits industry, generating millions of dollars annually. And while not all of it carries the authenticity of old Appalachian methods, Tim's brand remains a benchmark for what real moonshine should taste like. His leadership helped turn what was once outlawed into something celebrated, and that legacy may be his most enduring achievement. One topic Tim has addressed many times is the question of how real Moonshiners actually is. Over the years, critics and viewers have argued endlessly about whether the show stages its scenes or reenacts events. Tim's response is usually calm but firm. It's based on real people, real stories, and real tradition. While some